Daring Marina YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about freshwater generator, their working principle, line diagram, parts and function in details. Let's discuss about the freshwater generator that is on the side. We all know that in onboard ship we are using fresh water. It is used on board for drinking, cooking, washing, cooling medium, boilers, tank cleaning, etc. For all this purpose we need fresh water. And because there is no wonder why freshwater consumption is very high on board. We all know that because of all these uses we need freshwater consumption is very high on board. Generally 100 liters are considered as per day consumption of a man on ship. Generally 100 liters are considered as per day consumption of a man on board ship. It is not recommended to use portable water for boilers from port due to poor quality. So distilled water generation is unavoidable in ship. The equipment used to generate fresh water on board ship is called freshwater generator. It can also be called as evaporator. Freshwater generator can also be called as evaporator. We all know that we are using fresh water on board ship for many purposes like drinking, cooking, washing, cooling medium, boilers, tank cleaning, etc. Because of all this reason, there is no wonder why freshwater consumption is very high on board. Generally 100 liters are considered as per day consumption of a man on ship. It is not recommended to use portable water for boilers from port due to poor quality. So distilled water generation it is unavoidable in ship. The equipment used to generate fresh water on board ship is called freshwater generator. It is also known as evaporator. Okay, the principle of freshwater generator. In ship, generally two principles are used to generate fresh water. They are either distillation or reverse osmosis. Two methods to generate freshwater are distillation or reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis is normally used in passenger ship where large quantities of water is consumed, because reverse osmosis is normally produced in passenger ship where large quantities of water are consumed. Here we will be discussing about distillation, that is used in normal cargo ship vessel and all. We use products produce water by the production of distillation. Okay, there are two methods principle to generate fresh water. They are distillation and reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis is normally used in passenger ship where large quantities of water is consumed, where in cargo vessels and all we are using distillation. Distillation, it is a process of separating fresh water from seawater by boiling seawater in evaporator, and the evaporator vapor gets condensed in the condenser. Distillation means it is a process of separating fresh water from seawater by boiling seawater in evaporator, and evaporator vapor gets condensated in the condenser. Okay, in ship boiling of seawater is done by the use of jacket water, which will increase the overall efficiency. But you know that jacket water with 80 degrees Celsius cannot boil seawater at atmospheric pressure. So in order to boil seawater at 80 degrees Celsius, we need to reduce the atmospheric pressure, which is done by creating vacuum inside the chamber where evaporation is taking place. So distillation is a process of separating fresh water from seawater. Distillation means separating fresh water from seawater by boiling seawater in evaporator. Boiling seawater in evaporator, and evaporator vapor gets condensated in the condenser. Okay, distillation means separation of fresh water from seawater by boiling seawater in evaporator, and evaporator vapor gets condensed in the condenser. Okay, here means distillation means it is a process of separating fresh water from seawater. Here the seawater is getting evaporated getting boiled in the evaporator, and evaporator vapor get condensed in the condenser. Okay, in the ship boiling of seawater is done by using jacket water, which increases the overall efficiency. This boil is done by jacket water. So you know that jacket water is about temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. With 80 degrees Celsius we cannot boil water, that means especially seawater. So in order to boil this seawater at 80 degrees Celsius, we need to reduce the atmospheric pressure, so that which is done by creating vacuum inside the evaporation. In this vacuum we need to produce vacuum inside the chamber where the evaporation is taking place. There are types of freshwater generator. So here there are two types like I mentioned, osmosis types and distillate type. Distillate type is again classified based on the evaporator and condenser structure, that is plate type and tube type freshwater generator. Here like I mentioned, there are two methods are there, distillation and reverse osmosis. In distillation There are two types of on the basis of evaporator and condenser structure. They are divided into two based on evaporator and condenser structure. They are plate type freshwater generator and tube type freshwater generator. Plate type freshwater generator and tube type freshwater generator. Freshwater generator divided into two: reverse osmosis and distillation. Reverse osmosis used in passenger ship, and distillation is method used in mostly cargo ship. So this distillation is also divided into two: plate type and tube type. Okay, plate type freshwater generator. If the condenser and evaporator, the heat exchange of a freshwater generator, it is composed of plate, then that type of freshwater is called plate type freshwater generator. If plate type freshwater generator means here the condenser and evaporator heat exchanges, condenser and evaporator heat exchanges both will be composed of plate. That is known as freshwater generator, plate type freshwater generator. Here the main components are condenser, evaporator heat exchanger, brine air ejector, seawater pump, distillate pump, salinometer, demister, water flow meter, etc. Here main components are condenser, evaporator heat exchanger, brine ejector, seawater pump, distillate pump, salinometer, demister, water flow meter, etc. Plate type freshwater generator means if the condenser and evaporator heat exchanger of a plate type of a freshwater generator are of plate type, then we call plate type heat exchanger. Here the main components are condenser, evaporator heat exchanger, brine ejector, seawater pump, distillate pump, salinometer, demister, water flow meter, etc. The heat exchangers means condenser and evaporator are corrugated titanium plates. Condenser and evaporator are corrugated titanium plates. The plates are corrugated with horizontal or chevron pattern corrugation, which will help increase the heat exchange surface. The plates are corrugated with horizontal or chevron plate corrugation, which will help to increase the heat exchange surface. Heat exchange means condenser and evaporators are corrugated. Here they are corrugated titanium plates. These plates are corrugated with horizontal or chevron pattern corrugation, which help to increase the heat exchange surface. Okay, heat exchange means here the condenser and evaporator are corrugated titanium plates. Plates are corrugated with horizontal or chevron pattern corrugation, which help to increase the heat exchange surface. Brine air ejector. It is used to remove air and brine from chamber, which helps in maintaining the vacuum. Brine air ejector is mainly used to remove air and brine from the chamber, which helps to maintain the vacuum. Okay. Then seawater and distillate pump. This seawater and distillate pump both are centrifugal type pump. The distillate pump help to pump out fresh water from condenser, and seawater pump supplies seawater to condenser and evaporator. Distillate pump will help to pump fresh water. Distillate pump will pump fresh water to the condenser, and seawater pump will supply seawater to the condenser. Okay. Demister means demister help to remove carryover of seawater droplets and water spray. It is made of layered knitted wire of model metal. Okay, they are made of knitted wire of model metal. Demister, they help to remove carryover of seawater droplets and water spray made of layered knitted wire of model metal. Seawater and distillate pump means both are centrifugal pump. Distillate pump help to pump out fresh water from condenser, and seawater pump help to supply seawater to condenser and evaporator. Demister means demister help to remove carryover of seawater droplets and water spray, and demister is made of layered knitted wire of model metal. And salinometer. Salinometer helps to check the salinity of water. Three-way valve is controlled by the salinometer, and if salinity is high, water goes back to evaporator inlet. That means salinity usually maximum, that is 10 ppm. Salinometer means they will check the salinity of water. Three-way valve is controlled by the salinometer as shown in the figure. If salinometer is high, water goes back to evaporator inlet. Salinometer usually maximum at 10 ppm. Here the picture of a plate type freshwater generator that we have discussed. Here we can see seawater pump, distillate pump will be there, jacket water, seawater will be there. Here we can see demister, and then will be brine ejector will be there, evaporator feed, evaporator seawater inlet will be there, jacket water inlet and outlet, demister is there which is made of model metal, and condenser will be there, and cooling seawater and all. Working. Here the working of that. Main engine jacket water passes through evaporator at 18 degrees Celsius. So main engine, the jacket water will pass through evaporator at 80 degrees Celsius. Feed seawater enters the evaporator. The feed seawater enters the evaporator through orifice at feed inlet. Due to low pressure in the chamber, seawater boils and get converted to steam. The seawater will boil and get converted to steam. Okay, main engine jacket water passes through evaporator at 80 degrees Celsius. The feed seawater enters evaporator through an orifice at a feed inlet. Due to low pressure in the chamber, seawater boils and get converted to steam. The carryover water droplets and water spray is removed by demister. The demister they will remove the carryover of water droplets and water spray. Separated water droplets get collected as brine, which is extracted by brine injector. The separated water droplets will be collected as brine and which is extracted by a brine injector. Steam then enters the condenser where it gets cools down to form fresh water, and distillate pump help to pump out this fresh water from condenser. So the steam, when it enters the condenser, it will get cooled down to form fresh water, and distillate pump help to pump out this fresh water from the condenser. Here means main engine jacketed water passes through evaporator at 80 degrees Celsius. The feed seawater enters the evaporator through an orifice at a feed inlet. Due to low pressure in the chamber, the seawater boils and get converted to steam. Carryover water droplets and water spray is removed by demister. Separated water droplets get connected as brine, which is extracted by the brine injector. Steam then enters into condenser where it gets cooled down to form fresh water. Distillate pump help to pump out fresh water from the condenser. Tube type freshwater generator. This is also another type of freshwater generator. Here the working principle is same as that of plate type generator, freshwater generator. Only difference is instead of plate here there we use condenser evaporator are made of tube shape. The only difference is that later all working and principle of tube type freshwater is same as that of plate type freshwater generator. Here we can see the picture of tube type freshwater generator. There is seawater pump is there, air and brine injector, seawater, condenser tubes, and usually in my vessel that I said it is tube type freshwater generator we are having. Then distillate pump will be there, condenser tube, jacketed water inlet at 80 degrees Celsius and outlet at 69 degrees Celsius and all. Okay. Thank you.